In this video, I will share with you 7 steps that will help you 10x your productivity. In other words, these 7 steps will help you multiply your productivity by 10 times. Now, I discovered this secret in 2019, in March 2019, and from the day I discovered this secret and I started applying it, I can tell you that my productivity has increased by more than 10 times in the last 4 years. And I'll also share with you exactly the secret formula, which is in 7 steps. Now, most of you, if you realize, you have a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues who are of comparable intelligence and comparable backgrounds. They have almost everything similar to you in terms of your IQ level or your intelligence, your academic performance. But you see that what they have achieved in life is several times more than what you will ever achieve. So what makes the difference? What makes the difference between an average student and an A student, A plus student? What makes the difference between a poor person and a rich person? What makes the difference between an ordinary employee and an employee who is promoted several times in his or her career? What makes the difference between the one who doesn't achieve much in a year and someone who is able to achieve 10 times more in a year? So these 7 steps will share with you exactly the procedures that you need to follow in order to achieve super performance in whatever career or whatever undertaking you are venturing into. So let's go into these 7 steps. Number 1 of the 7 steps is that you have to decide exactly what you want in this life. So you sit down, think through whatever you want to actually achieve in life. Get a very clear vision, a very crystal clear vision of what you actually want. And this one you can get to a very quiet place, somewhere that you will not be disturbed, or you can wake up in the middle of the night or early morning, sit down quietly and think about what exactly that you need. So that's the first step. When you have a very clear vision, taking the action is easier. But when your vision is not clear, you are not able to focus and go direct into what you actually want. So decide exactly what you want. That's the first step. The number 2 is think on paper. So write down exactly what you want. So number 2 is that you write down what you want, what you have actually thought and what you have decided to achieve in life. If you don't write it down, it is merely a wish and not a goal. Most of you have wonderful dreams. You have thought of wonderful things you actually wanted to achieve in this life, but your problem is that you didn't write it down. And once you don't write it down, it is a wish and not a goal. It doesn't have the kind of clarity. If you don't write it down, you don't have the clarity. If you don't write it down, you are not able to focus exactly and achieve it. Because if you think of something you want to actually do and you don't write it down, the scientific studies have shown that an average thought or idea that comes to your mind, within 10 minutes it will disappear if you don't write it down. You forget of it. So you have to write it down. And when you write it down, you are able to crystallize it into a physical form. It is something tangible you can see, and it is clear, it is not vague. So at the end of the day, you have something that you can follow and focus on to achieve your goals. Number 3, give your goal a deadline. Give your goal a deadline. You see, when you write down your goal and you don't give it a deadline, it doesn't have a sense of urgency. It doesn't have a sense of the action that you need to take. It doesn't put you in a state of that urgency that you need to put in, the action you need to put in order to achieve that particular goal. So give it a deadline. And when you give it a deadline, it helps you to avoid procrastination. It helps you to go direct and take an action. So give your goal a deadline. That is the 3rd one. The 4th one is write down a list of everything that you need to do in order to achieve this goal. So take time and write down. So for example, if your goal is to achieve 10,000, maybe $10,000 or 10,000 Ghana cedis a month, what exactly do you need to do in order to achieve that at the end of the month? Do you need to call a certain number of clients? Do you need to put a certain amount of effort in your business? Whatever you need to do, write down a list of all those goals. If your goal is to become an A student what are the steps? What amount of reading do you need to do in a day in order to achieve that? Write down all the steps and the procedures you need to follow. If your step is to lose maybe 1 kilogram of weight in a month, what are the processes? What are the steps that you need to follow? What do you need to do every day towards the month in order to achieve that? So take time, write down every step that you need to follow. If your goal is to be promoted in your career, maybe from an ordinary employee to a manager or CEO level, or whatever executive or corporate ladder you want to climb up to, what exactly are the steps that you need to do in order to achieve that? So write all those steps down. Okay, then the fifth one is that you have to organize your ideas in order of importance. Organize your ideas in terms of what what needs to be done first and which one is more important. You see, this is where the 80-20 principle comes in. You see, most of you, it's not just about being busy, but it is about being busy on the most effective things that you need to do that will galvanize you towards achieving your main goal. So if you have a list of 10 things that you need to do, one of them will achieve 80% of the results you are looking for, and one of them may also achieve 10% or less of the results you're looking for. So you need to focus on the one that will give you 80% of the result than the one that will give you some small achievement. So you focus on the most effective things on the list of things that you actually need to do. So for example, maybe your aim is to make, let's say, 10,000 Ghana cedis a month, or 10,000 of any currency that you want to achieve. And you realize that out of the 10, there are 10 steps that you need to do in order to achieve that. You see, and out of those 10 steps, one of them is going to make you 8,000, 7,000. One of them is going to actually be very effective in achieving that goal. So the one that is the most effective, you settle on that and work on that, followed by the next one in order. Sometimes too, you need to look at the agency, which one needs to be done first, because if you don't look at the sequence, or the agency, the things that you need to do first, sometimes certain steps, when they pass, you can't do them again. So take time, look at what you need to do first, and look at what is most effective, and do that. If you do that and you follow the 80-20 principle in everything that you do, at the end of the day, you are going to realize that you are not just going to be busy, but you are going to be busy on the most effective things. And once you focus on the most effective thing, it is going to help you to achieve a lot more in a shorter time. Okay, so that is that. Go to the C one. The C one is that take action immediately. Take action immediately. Most of you, as I said earlier, you have a lot of wonderful dreams, but you don't take action. And you don't take action because you are not organized. So once you write down everything and then you organize yourself, taking action is easier because you already have a laid down plan. You know what you need to follow. So when you take action, you see, an average plan that is vigorously executed will achieve or will be far better than a well-planned, something that you took time to actually plan very well, that you are not taking action. That is why you will see that 10 people will have the same business idea, but one of them will execute and will be far more successful than the rest of them. That is why, for example, when we take of Google as a company, for example, Google and Yahoo were all doing, in fact, Yahoo even was there far long before Google came. But see, one thing that helped Google to be more successful is they executed more efficiently. Their execution is what put them far ahead of Yahoo, and now they are the market leader in terms of the search engine market. So you have to execute vigorously. Even if your plan is not perfect, the execution will help you and put you far ahead than someone who plans very well and doesn't take action immediately. The seventh one is plan every day in advance and do something every day towards your main goal. After you took the action, don't let it end there. you have to make sure that every day before the following day you plan it in advance. So for example, tomorrow, what do you want to do? So you write a list of those 10 things that you, not even 10 things, all the things you will want to do tomorrow. And then after you write them, give yourself, organize them in a way that maybe this is what I want to do first, followed by this, followed by that, to the end of the day. And every day have a daily to-do list and write them in advance. When you write them in advance, listen, a research has been done that shows that every 3 minutes you spend in planning will save you 60 minutes in execution. What does that mean? If you don't plan, you always waste time wandering, running from one activity to the other. But those that actually plan, you see, you will see the time you spend in planning as a waste. But when you actually take time to plan, it is rather going to save you time. So every 3 minutes you spend in planning is going to save you 1 hour of wasted time. The one who doesn't plan and just takes action is going to be wasting a lot of time in making choosing the wrong things and making the wrong decisions and doing trial and error. But you, the one who plan, you are always going to minimize your margin of error, and you are always going to go direct in what you actually need to do rather than wasting time and pondering and doing a lot of things. That is why the research has been done that shows that 3%, only 3% of adults have written down goals, and that 3% of those adults, the 3% of the adults that have written down goals are actually more successful than the remaining 97%. I believe that when you follow these 7 steps, it is going to help you become a very better, different person, far more successful than your colleagues. And I tell you that you will never be the same again. Take time, write it down today, and just write it down and then write today's date. And I tell you that in a month time, you will call me and tell me that, oh, this one, what you really said, I applied it and it helped me. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Remember to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, leave your comments in the comment section if this video has actually helped you, and share it among your colleagues and friends, and it will help them to become better people. At the end of the day, you'll be making a difference in someone's life. As I have said earlier, you cannot follow this channel and be an ordinary person. God bless you and have a great day. Bye bye.